Welcome to the Morning Cup. What a glorious day. My rabbits have mated. It's so great. Some of you may remember a video which I started off showing because I was hiding in the corner from the storm, and there was a little juvenile rabbit hiding, sitting right next to my foot, all nice and trying to stay warm and stuff, and just like, you're cool, you're a nice cow. See, rabbits, if you move slowly, you don't make a lot of noise and screeching and all kind of, they kind of classify you as what I am. They know from observing me since birth. I remember them when they were just teeny. I know where they sleep, where they live, and lately they've really been catching my attention because they're doing something that rabbits in the wild don't do. Is that they don't stay out on. They've been spending all afternoon right in front of me. At least one of them. I think that's the female. You'll love this story if you're a lover of wildlife, but most of you are mostly a hater of me. Well, not really, but I think I've thinned out that. Anyway, this rabbit, and actually I noticed the guy with the pit bull, that's what he was locking on, was the scent of the rabbits that had been feeding on the lawn behind 7-Eleven. And stuff is just staying out there. Rabbits in the wild rarely stay on go out in the open. They go out into tall grass during the day. If they cross the road, you'll notice that or something like going into a short, they usually cover that distance quickly. They don't hang around. They'll come out in the open, but if it's like in the forest or edge of the woods, because that's some protection from predation. Birds, hawks. And I've been watching them slowly mature. And they always, in the evenings and stuff, they migrate around here, and they kind of follow my same path and stuff. In the evenings when I go up there, then they'll follow. And they run right. I may have told you before that they run right up to me, especially like the female. And this morning I got her pegged as and she'll actually run right under the bench I sleep on and stuff, run right by my leg and stuff like that to get to her next cover from any predation. But she's using me as a cover too, because she's worried about maybe a hawk on the ledge or something like that above. And so this morning it was so cool. First the male comes out, tail down. These are cottontail rabbits. Tail down, he comes out, but he's looking, well fed and sleek and stuff. And he stops. He kind of goes, "Hey, dude, you're our cow, man. We know you." Then he goes like, "I'm hungry, dude. I got the munchies," And he takes off to feed. And then after a little while, the female comes out and parks right in front of me. Go like, "Look at me. He really tore my ass up." She was even tailed out. You could tell by her ruffled fur and stuff like that, she had been mounted several times at first light and stuff. They have two areas that they tend to overnight in. I'm not going to say where. It's near where I sleep, but it was just so cool. And she hung around, and I was just talking to her. "Hey, bunny rabbit. Hey, bunny, sweetie." And stuff, just speak to them softly and stuff like that. We were making eye contact stuff because, they look out sideways. People always think they're seeing forward. Only like a frog eye can have like a full, that fisheye camera kind of effect where frogs can see what's by the way their corneas are shaped and stuff, they can actually see behind them a little bit because it's kind of refracting through its, long story. It was so cool. She looked kind of like, wow. It was, he's a sex animal. He's a beast. She hung around quite a while before she kind of finally, not limped, but just kind of slowly went off. But you could tell that they had been knocking boots this morning, or maybe all last night, because a lion, do it 80 times a day. And in case y'all don't know it, like in the feline family and stuff like that, they have these kind of little flaps on their penises that act like kind of barbs. They really tear up that's why the lioness reaches up and he's hurting her, but that's what actually stimulates her to ovulate. I have to try to tell you people, I'm a biologist. I know a lot of shit y'all don't know. And some guy just coming, all you ever study is your next cigarette. I bet you I'm talking to somebody who probably, smokes more fucking meth and crack and cigarettes than I ever, never mind. So eventually her children, if I'm here that long, will become my next. Since they've been you don't know how much I miss wildlife and being around them, because if you move slow and you don't make a lot of noise and shit like that, like some raging meth head, and actually bunnies are, cottontail rabbits are just full of the joy of life and stuff. Like, they play this jumping game and stuff I've tried to describe before to y'all, is that one will line up like this, and their vision is to the sides for predators. Predators, their eyes face forward so they can triangulate and focus on the prey, and the prey tends to have eyes on the side to watch for predators, where they can see. They may have a little tiny, barely have their vision meet in the middle, and so they can see that they're, where their next hop forward is going. But you really have to study optics, and particularly the shape and nature of the cornea and stuff like that. But I miss all my animals and shit. I mean, it's really cool. There's only a few animals I like. I love most life forms for being so interested. There's only a few that I just find, like, I'm a bird lover, but I'll kill a crow in a heartbeat, because crows eat the songbird's eggs. I had the politically correct and stuff like that, because somebody was poisoning crows up in Portland, Oregon, and even the Audubon Society guy they were trying to put the guy in jail. No, them crows were destroying his business and shit like that. Crows are really no good. They're as bad as the grackles here. But, a murder of crows, that's the correct term. Might want to watch the movie that's using that old English phrase and stuff for a group. The English came up with some really great, a murder of crows. And but I've watched what would be a small murder, just maybe 3 or 4, wipe out every songbird egg on 50 acres, my 50 acres, and a lot of the adjoining acreage before 10 o'clock in the morning. They grab a lot of what you think is just a baby bird's busted out of its shell, and yeah, there's the shell. It's fell out. They throw it out. Mommy throws it out of the nest. No, it's the bird. Then the crow grabs the egg like this, tilts his head back, cracks the egg, and the egg flows, and he spits out casts off the shell. Watched him do it, thousands of times. And hey,
they find shoestring yet?
Oh yeah, they're not releasing pathology, but they're. Don't worry, I'm not filming you. This is my. No, it looks like he got hammered, went off the wagon again and stuff, and went drug seeking at a emergency room, and then he got decided to. He actually, for a hobo, he lived in a townhouse on the big, gorgeous Boone Lake north of Johnson City, Tennessee, and he went out on the dock or something like that. And you know how drunks are, is they'll just, and he fell in the water, and there's no, and yet everybody's telling me that, oh, you should be investigated and stuff like that. I'm actually making a video about my bunny rabbits mated this morning. Anyways, that's a long story. It'll be on. But yeah, they haven't, because I'm not searching for it. I'm tired of this. I've been the subject of cyberbullying and gang stalking and stuff. And actually, I tried to send in a little video about it. If you look on my channel, you'll see there's a video addressed to the Pflugerville PD. It didn't come in the attachment, didn't go into. Tried to send it into but all of the evidence indicates there's a guy somewhere in this area. He's got to be to the west, or due to the vegetation, unless he got in his car and drove to. But it actually looks like but this guy's been operating since 2006, and he's been cyberbullying people until they suicide, and that's what he did. He was the one that started the bum fight. This guy's got thousands of channels that he's created since 2006. I can tell you a lot of descriptors of what to look like. I know what his voice. I'm the only one that can identify his voice. He is leaving me little hints. Serial killers like to take trophies or give you little clues. And he's left me a couple clues. Some of them are like that he likes the initials J and S and certain syllables when he's constructing fake names and stuff. And oh God, this guy's a monster. He really is. But yeah, the brief answer to your question is that I haven't really searched, and I don't think they've released the pathology yet and stuff. And scamming Nichols family, they started out asking for $10,000 while they're searching for their brother, who was already assumed, anybody who's logical assumed that he fell in the lake. He was known to, and then they went from 10,000, they then bumped it up to 20,000, then 25,000, but actually donations stopped at about 18,000. These people, this guy had a reputation of being a cheeky, e-begging moocher and bully. In his past, they're releasing his old videos and stuff now, and actually the guy there's a guy somewhere around here, based on my knowledge of Texas vegetation, and actually on one of the bike trails, looks like he's but then he could have driven there. And I know a lot about what the guy's preferences are, in certain areas. I can identify his voice, but this guy has been getting away with pushing people to committing suicide. He's the one that actually tried to start up, and he likes watching that and knowing he created it. And as long as somebody comes out dead, he's happy. There is somebody that's in a way, but it's also the hobo shoestrings. It's his own natural weakness that really led to his death. I mean, it was. So I don't really have much of an update. I know that if he was, because of the Biktarvy, he was probably HIV positive, and they probably had to, I think by law and stuff, you may have to cremate the remains or something on that. So he's been cremated. They're supposed to have a celebration of life, but there's not much coming out because, number one, I'm not looking for it. I never cared. I didn't even know the guy existed until the third party took one of his videos, put it on the fake Facebook page that he had cloned of the guy, and started. It came up on my feed, and I just go like, well, I don't really know other than what and I looked and I did a review on him, just a dispassionate review of him, and I called him a fake and a liar because he was too clean. There's no way you can do 2.7 million miles in that time period, not as a hobo or even as a paying passenger on Amtrak. And I wasn't the first one to do it, but I was kind of the tip of the spear that kind of let it,
You do what you're doing.
yeah, you may be able to access more on, y'all got it, just call Johnson if you want to know. The only one that really knows is